It's all good. All right, guys, let's talk about something. Man, first and foremost, I noticed this. The Florida Democratic something, I guess the party of Florida, Democrat DNC of Florida, whatever. They posted this. It's the NPR network logo and says, "We won't be silenced." NPR. And it's quote, this was yesterday. Today marks the first day in public media's history without federal funding, and we're not going anywhere. Well, if you're not going anywhere now without federal funding, why the heck did you ever have it? That's what we've been saying. You could still exist. No one's saying that you don't have to exist. You just, exist. Anyway, the folks get it. All right, I think we're live on Rumble now. Rumble.com. Nope, not. All right, I see some people. So let's go to these shutdowns and cuts. All right, so today I'm looking at two reports. One's from CNBC's Dan Mangan, and one's from Fox News' Alex Miller. All right, now they're both tied to the ongoing government shutdown. They tell us two things. First, the Trump administration has frozen billions of dollars for projects in Democrat-run cities like Chicago now and New York. We covered that yesterday. But the second thing that I stumbled on that's pretty remarkable, and I did stumble on it, and then since I read up, there's a few people talking about it. But second, Senator Ernst, Joni Ernst, that's what I'm talking about. Bring some solutions. Senator Ernst is demanding over $2 trillion in permanent federal cuts, and she has a plan, or there is a plan. She hasn't announced a plan. When I first saw it, I was like, how the heck? How are you going to get past that 60-vote requirement in the Senate? And there's a path. Stay tuned. Also, stay tuned for this later in the show. Around segment 3, we're going to have Secretary John Fleming on the Josh Guillory Show. He can talk about some things going on in his office and a little bit of his plans should he win as the next U.S. Senate for the great state of Louisiana. We'll see. Looking forward to that. He's a very nice gentleman. Now, a few little facts here on what we just discussed. The Department of Transportation, federal DOT, has just froze $2.1 billion in Chicago projects, which includes the long-promised Red Line extension. I'm a Cubs fan. I even heard about that. And a modernization plan, whatever that means, flavor of the day. Flavor of the day. Don't let those little catchy government words fool you. That's $8 billion. $18 billion in New York, and after the DOE had canceled $8 billion in other Democrat states. So 2.1 Chicago, 18 New York, collectively $8 billion in a couple other Democrat states. Now, OMB Director Russ Vought is directing these freezes while citing, he's kind of throwing it on them, and he should. He's citing unconstitutional race and sex-based contracting rules. Now, it's probably rampant, honestly. But and I say that objectively too. But let's keep going. Let's keep going though. Senator Ernst has gone much further. She delivered a plan to vault with more than $2 trillion in proposed cuts. And it wasn't just like, let's go for $2 trillion a day. No, these are like really line itemed out, really good. And you probably could, all of us could probably go into the Capitol and find this. What do you think it's from? Unused COVID funds, empty federal office space. This is real good. Biden's EV programs. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's worth running up the debt. Blue state transit projects. I just referenced one. And ridiculous earmarks like the famous or infamous shrimp on a treadmill. Remember that? Golly. She says it's time to make Washington squeal. Well, I just want Washington to bounce a budget. I just want Washington to stay out of the way. when it's a state's issue or a local issue. And just do what the federal government's supposed to do and do it really well. Do it really well. Keep us safe and keep the economy rolling. Protect our sovereignty. There you go. Not that hard. There's a few other enumerated powers, but that's the gist of it. All right, so let's walk through this as the conservative grown-ups in the room that we are, of course. Because really, these stories do get right to the heart of what it means to be a conservative. I mean, think about this. First, the freezes. Let's go with that. Legally, these freezes during a shutdown rely on the Anti-Deficiency Act. The Anti-Deficiency Act. Now, that law says you can't spend without appropriation, so agencies stop or slow projects when Congress deadlocks. But here's a little catch there. We've said it all week. Those freezes are temporary. Once the government reopens, I mean, unless there's some congressional action, the money comes right back into play. I mean, that's why Democrats are howling right now. That's why Illinois, Governor Pritzker, that's why he's crying foul over there. That's why OMB has been using this moment for leverage, stretching discretion, testing boundaries, even skirting into what some experts call backdoor impoundment. That'll be important here. It's clever, but it's shaky. It's shaky as a permanent solution. It's shaky as a permanent solution. So when we get back from the break, we'll take us a little break. When we get back, we're going to talk about Senator Ernst a little bit more. We're going to talk about a solution that probably will stick there a little bit more if we can do it. All right, we'll be right back. welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on Rumble. Go check us out over there at Rumble. I think we got everything under control. Bandit 06, what is going? Hey, there we go. Love it, Bandit. Thank you, brother. Kill Switch, got you, man. Got you. All the folks. Also, look, man, if you got any dinner plans tonight, maybe you're looking around, go to Praise John's. Go check out our friends over there. They got 2 locations. One's off of I-49, the historic location near Karen Crow, between Karen Crow and Lafayette. And you got Praise John's in Broussard. I guess you would still call that the new location. And I just simply love it. Simply love it. So, all right, guys, you know it's Friday. Let's hit it up. It is JJWJ with Janet and the Izzy for Shizzy. Janet, bring the heat. What you got, Janet?
Where's my bell?
I cannot bring it like that.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed after that, you know?
It's Friday. If you ain't laughing, you're crying. What you got, Janet? Bring a smile to the face.
I found it.
Yay.
I'm never using online dating again. Last guy said he lived in a gated community. Prison. He meant prison.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my.
Oh, Janet.
Janet, always bringing a smile Monday through Friday, but the folks get to hear and see you on Friday. Thank you, Janet.
Thanks, Janet.
All right. I needed that because what we're talking about, good night. Actually, this is good. Senator Ertz. Okay, so we talked about what the president's office is doing, and to his credit, he's doing everything he possibly can. To Senator Ernst's credit, go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody in Congress proposing to do something, but here's the thing. She's just kind of talking about it right now. But that's okay. I would say she's actually doing what too few Republicans have done. She's naming the way she wants to cut. And I think that is the way to go. Don't go to anybody with the problem without a recommended solution. And she has highlighted more than $2 trillion with a T, $2 trillion in cuts. Now, stick with me here. Pandemic slush funds, empty buildings. We talked about that in D.C. and elsewhere. Biden's EV charging boondoggle. She's clawing it back one by one. And here's the real teaching point for us, in my opinion. If these cuts are passed into law, they are permanent. Now, we know that. But ordinarily, there's some hurdles here. So Congress would have to reappropriate those dollars all over again to bring them back. That is the solution. That is the solution. Make them come back. That's the difference between an OMB freeze, is what you're seeing from the executive branch, and congressional cuts. Now, you may say, well, how do we get here? How do we get here? You know, you got those under our current little rules. The Senate needs 60 votes for this type of vote. So that's a big hurdle, as you can see. And that's where the Democrats will dig in, just like the Republicans would dig in. But with the Republicans controlling the House, now stay with me here. The Republicans controlling the House, the Senate, and President Trump in the White House, there is another path. There's another path. Budget reconciliation. I want you to remember that. Go Google it. Budget reconciliation. That allows cuts tied to spending and revenue to pass with a simple majority. That's how Democrats have done it. Democrats have done that for years. Look at it. Look, they shoved Obamacare fixes through that. That's the process, reconciliation. Remember the whole vote in Scott Brown? We thought we won? Nope. Reconciliation, budget reconciliation. That's how they push their spending bills. And that's how Republicans can lock in Ernst's cuts if they want to and if they have the backbone to do it. And how is this hard? I mean, Senator Ernst, kudos to you. You have a thought. You have like a reasonable thought. You know what I mean? Like a solution. I love that. Now, Republicans, my fellow Republicans, we have no excuses here. Like we have no excuses. We've got the House, we've got the Senate, we've got President Trump who will sign it. If Republicans walk away from Ernst's $2 trillion in cuts, then they're proving that the swamp is still alive, even with all those R's by your name. If you walk away, because she's bringing reasonable cuts, COVID era cuts, the EV stuff. I mean, think about it. The wasteful spending for the partners in these infrastructure. It's the only party in the world that doesn't know what infrastructure is. And I'll add this. Hey, I love the president using shutdown leverage to expose Democrat hypocrisy. I think President Trump is doing everything he can in his power to at least try to change the trajectory. Now, I got my issues with the deficit spending of the big beautiful bill, but I gotta be honest with you. You guys are gonna look like the smartest doggone people in the room if you pull off these $2 trillion cuts. Because there is debate on how much the big beautiful bill increases our national debt. There's a debate on that. Okay, some here at 4.05 trillion. Some on the other end, Speaker Johnson said at one point, "Oh, in 10 years it's a surplus." Okay, but even if it's in the middle, too. I mean, this is not play. This is not pretend monopoly money. This is for real. Okay, like no, it's too easy. I mean, think about it. Freezing projects, Chicago, New York, that's all good. But if we want permanent change, if we want the change that we're talking about right now, it is going to take Congress doing their job. And specifically, Republicans in Congress doing Republican things. Put the cuts on paper. Get it on Trump's desk. Because this shutdown is more than a fight over some kind of CR. This is the first real chance in decades to shrink Washington, not just simply slow it down. President Trump is slowing it down. That's all he can do. That's all he can do. But Senator Ernst, way to go. You're right. You're right. The only question, though, she is right, is whether the Republican Party will finally act like conservatives or whether they'll keep mouthing slogans while spending goes on autopilot. This is the chance. So here's the bottom line. Freezes or leverage, but legislation is lasting. This is the moment to prove we mean it. This is it. This is your chance. And if Republicans can't do it now, when every branch is in Republican hands, then they will never do it. This is it. This is your chance. We're not guaranteed the midterm elections. We are not guaranteed the midterm elections, and President Trump will be a lame duck president in the second half of his last term. He won't have as much clout with these rhinos as he does right now. This is the moment, and the clock is ticking. And if Republicans don't take this, if they don't take Senator Ernst, if we don't take her lead on this, then we are missing out. We are missing out. So we got Senator Fleming coming on here.
Yes, sir.
How much time we got in this segment?
As much as we need.
Oh, good. So what's your thoughts on all this, man? You've been quiet over there.
Are we going to break?
Oh,
You don't hear the music?
Oh, yeah, I don't hear the music.
Oh,
All right.
let's go quick.
All right, guys, take care. the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Man, go check us out on rumble.com. Very easy. You just go over there and search the Josh Guillory Show. We're also on all the socials, the Josh Guillory Show. You can go to my personal X page at Josh Guillory USA. Very creative.
Hey, and y'all don't forget to
What?
go like and
What?
follow us on Rumble because we're gonna be doing that giveaway a little bit later on. Maybe 2 giveaways. We
No,
are doing 2 giveaways.
We're doing 2 giveaways. We're giving away 2 American flag kits. Yes, indeed. All right, guys, on the phone with us, we're so blessed to have my dear friend over there, Secretary of Treasury, our Treasurer, John Fleming, who's also a candidate for U.S. Senate to run against the incumbent and other folks. So, Mr. Fleming, thank you, Mr. Secretary, for making time for us. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I couldn't do any better, Josh. It's been a wonderful day. Looking forward to weekend and college football.
Woo,
Indeed.
absolutely. You know, one thing about the campaign trail, and I know you appreciate this, is it does force you to get out and about more than you usually would. And I know that I've met you several times. We've had the blessing to serve together for a short period of time. But I know with your personality, you're probably out there shaking hands, loving on it, and probably enjoying visiting with the folks.
Oh yes, that's really the funnest part of being in politics, running for office, is really just getting to know people. I was at a gala last night in Alexandria. It was Stop Violence, and it was a very mixed crowd in terms of racial background and so forth. The community coming together to fight crime together. Everyone from every corner of life, and that makes it all worth it to me.
Oh, well said. And I know that's coming from the heart. So, Mr. Secretary, so you've announced that you're going to run for U.S. Senate. You know, what motivated you to run for the Senate seat? We have an incumbent registered Republican over there, and tell us your thoughts.
Well, actually, I've been running. I announced December 4th of last year, and I'm well ahead in this race. Every poll that I've done, and then an independent poll done by the Advocate, the newspaper, shows that I lead all contenders in the race against Cassidy. And in a runoff, I would win handily against Cassidy. Bill Cassidy, senator from Louisiana, voted to convict Trump in the second impeachment trial. He resisted approving Kennedy, RFK Jr., as head of Health and Human Services. He's been really just a boil on the backside of President Trump for a long time. And the people of Louisiana are very much supporters of Trump, and they really feel like it's time for a change. And we have 10,000 yard signs out across the state. My opponents have none. And we continue to lead in the polls. So all of our metrics are fantastic, just lots of support I'm getting from all parts of the state. And really Acadiana, Senator Elbert, the former state senator, Elbert Guillory, is actually my campaign director. So he's joined us as well. So we're really firing on all 8 pistons.
All right. Well, Albert Guillory, my cousin, very, very close. And his record in helping campaigns are very successful. I know firsthand.
Yes, I don't doubt that a bit. I'm sure he helped you a lot. He nearly won against Cleo Fields, a Democrat who's our current congressman of the 6th district. So he is not to be taken lightly. He's highly respected. He's an icon, and whenever he attends, events that I'm at, that I'm speaking at as, the primary speaker and so forth, he's always very, very popular and just a great guy.
Yeah, and the whole congressional district. I know you don't want to get into that probably, and that's not why we're talking. But us conservatives very frustrated that Louisiana just voluntarily gave the Democrats a seat, and then virtually no senior Republicans went to Elbert's aid in the runoff, or excuse me, to possibly get him in a runoff, less
Yes.
than 1%. You know, but those are fights for different days. But Mr. Secretary, so let's talk about Senator Ernst. Okay, so Senator Ernst, who if you win, that's going to be your colleague, and she's this whole shutdown, and I know you know all about this being the treasurer, probably more so than I'll ever know. But I have to tell you, I like Senator Ernst's proposal. It's not necessarily a bill, but she's talking about it. She's bringing some deliverables, and she delivered a plan that with more than $2 trillion in proposed cuts, and you can guess where they're at. Probably, includes unused COVID funds, empty federal office space, Biden's EV programs, blue state ridiculous transit projects where their partners get paid, earmarks like the shrimp on the treadmill. Now I had to throw that one in. That one's not necessarily in there, but I had to. So pretty common sense. But I
Yes.
like how she came in with some deliverables. Now I'm putting you on the spot, and feel free to just toss this question aside. But what do you think about that? It's hot off the press.
Oh, I love it, Josh. She's known as a cost cutter in Washington. She heads the Doge caucus in the Senate. And I think all of that is fantastic. What happened during COVID is because the government was the country was shut down at the peak of COVID, and that was done in the Trump administration. And we gradually opened back up, but then the governors of the states reclosed or kept closed many of the states, including Louisiana, when John Bel Edwards kept Louisiana closed down, businesses closed down. Well, that forced the federal government to try to prevent every business in the country going bankrupt, and certainly people who had jobs but couldn't work because of the shutdown. But during the Biden administration, all of that money remained being put out by Washington, and so far past the end of the pandemic, Biden kept spending that money. So what we really need to do is go back and claw it back. It's still in a lot of funds. Buildings, so many buildings that are empty in the
Yeah.
Washington area. People working from home. We could sell off that property or release it. There's so many things that can be done. I'm totally behind her efforts and also Russ Vos efforts, the head of OMB, and President Trump to cut spending now.
Love it. I love it. You can't see me, but I'm high fiving you. I'm with you on that. Hey,
Great.
Mr. Secretary. So little touchy subject here. I'll preface my question. I'll try not to talk too long, but I feel like it's needed just for integrity here on our part. All right. So all this National Guard stuff. I look at it a different way, or maybe I bifurcate or trifurcate, if that's even a word. So we have all these different situations. You have the District of Columbia. You got this silliness in Oregon, San Francisco, Chicago. These are situations where it's imminent threat, man. This is Americans. There's crime written, and it's a legitimate emergency. We agree. But these Democrat mayors ain't doing nothing. These Democrat governors aren't doing nothing. They're letting their cities and states go to you know what and back. And the president is doing it right. Limited scope, going in there, using their own National Guard, getting in, getting out, being done. No problem. Now, in our state, we have a Republican governor that's inviting the federal government in to do a job that he can do. Now, you don't have to opine on the governor. That's not fair to do that. But I have I have a concern as a very slippery slope. When we as conservatives, I was a mayor, I was a parish president. I did not want John Bel Edwards and Biden telling my people they couldn't go to church. I mean, I was able to tell them to go take a hike on those mask mandates, but under this precedent, he would have told me to go take a hike. And so what's your thoughts in Globo? I threw a ton at you right there.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on all that
Sure.
National Guard stuff?
Well, first of all, even in Republican states, again, Louisiana, you have a very, very progressive socialist, liberal, and really incompetent mayor in New Orleans. And so even in very conservative states, you have police departments that are an absolute mess. And we know the police department has been a disaster for many, many years in New Orleans because of dissent decrees and all sort of things like that. that really need to be repaired. So I think using the National Guard is a temporary fix, and I think it's reasonable. But we should understand that it's only a Band-Aid. It's only a temporary fix until we fix the underlying problems. Soon we're going to have a new mayor in New Orleans, and hopefully this mayor, whoever it's going to be, will restore law and order and will fix the police department. But now in the other states like California, Washington State, Oregon, I don't know, maybe we need a permanent presence of National Guardsmen because, when you have local officials who refuse to obey the law, to put wrongdoers, criminals behind bars, then all you have is chaos. And maybe we may have a much longer presence of that. But I do agree that I think it is a good idea if it's a temporary but not a permanent solution to the problem.
All right. Well, hey, I applaud you for putting your position on the record. I disagree with it 100%, though, Senator or Secretary, maybe Senator, and I do that with love and respect because I do love you.
Sure.
I served overseas. I remember serving in the military where we did have war fighters. We kind of got away from that, but I love our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and he is training. He is training these guys. Just something to consider. He is training these guys, these soldiers, these troops, Marines, to be hardened killers, straight up, to do things that are not normal. I know. It ain't easy, and it's not human. So we can't have both, or we train in police officers, or we train in killers. And if you want the killers because you need them, you can't have them policing streets. That's just my opinion. And I was a mayor. I know how to police. I know how to fight crime very well. We just don't put up with that.
And a good one. Right. Well, one distinction, though, is the National Guard is trained for a different mission. You're right. They're not the typical B-side killers that we send overseas. Oftentimes, they're trained in law enforcement. They're also trained to rescue people, of course, during hurricanes and other weather events. So even though they're both in the military, they do have a different training and a different mission. And one of them is to restore peace.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Secretary, though, it's not so we can debate whether or not we want to use the Guard or the soldiers. That's fine. I think what the issue that a lot of conservatives are having is who uses the National Guard. Right now, our Republican governor, who is the commander-in-chief of the National Guard, they have two, he is asking the president to activate his own National Guard. Well, if you want to use the Guard, go use the Guard. But that's a 10th Amendment type stuff, conservative, all that crap. Listen, I want to get your thoughts on something I know you are really good at, and this is fiscal responsibility. Man, you are a great leader of the Freedom Caucus. You led in there. You were one of the founding members. Really brought some common sense measures, or at least tried to add, some common sense measures to the culture of Washington. Man, I watched you in President Trump's cabinet. Just really appreciate your service, genuinely. What do you think about this national debt thing, man? I know we got Senator Ernst, and that's going to cut into. But what's your thoughts? What do we do? What do we do?
Oh, well, just to put it in perspective, Josh, and I know you know it, but I know your listeners perhaps haven't kept up with it. But from George Washington to George Bush 43, George W. Bush, we accumulated $11 trillion in national debt. That's over 200 years.
Yeah.
Since then, we have almost quadrupled our national debt.
Oh, man.
So the doubling times are getting faster and faster and faster.
Yep.
And now interest on the debt is our number one line item in our budget. This is unsustainable, Josh.
Yeah.
And it is fixable. It can be fixed, but you're absolutely right. There's so much of the spending that's so automatic and what we call mandatory. And we're beginning to chip away. For instance, the president, of course, is stopping Medicaid for illegals, which was an insane idea to begin with. But that's only scratching the surface. We got a long way to go on this.
Man, that's great. So, Mr. Secretary, we got a few more minutes left, and I appreciate your time. So what do you see in Washington? Maybe I don't want to say what's the top concern. There's so many. What are some things that kind of really get you going when you're looking at Washington? Because I know you wouldn't run for this if you didn't have the passion to do it. You're a successful businessman. You're a successful statesman. When you look at the land of Oz, tell us what gets your blood boiling or what gets you motivated.
Well, of course, Josh, I'm also a physician. I'm a family
That's right.
doctor. And I went to Congress, the House of Representatives, in 2009. And that's when Obamacare was passed the following year, 2010. And I voted against it. I was very much against it. And here's why. I knew that there was not a word in 3,000 pages that would save a dime on anyone's budget because it did not add any efficiency, any price transparency, no competition among providers, nothing like that. All it did was expand more care to more people, and it put the burden of cost on the taxpayers and the people who are working, while giving other people who refuse to work free health care. So what I want to do is bring reform once again to Washington, but in a conservative way, where we make health care a marketplace, where providers and pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, where they compete, where their prices are published, and where you can make choices. Because trust me, when consumers begin to make decisions about their health care, those prices, those costs are going to come down dramatically.
Oh, it's so true. And Mr. Secretary, if we just did your proposal right there, we would actually start answering the right question. We're asking the wrong questions. We're always asking who's going to pay for it. We should ask why does it cost so much? And your idea of tearing down some of those tearing down the state lines, let the market correct it, things like that. You're going to start getting that answer. You're not even going to need to ask the question. It'll naturally do that. Let's switch gears here in the final moments here. Let's go foreign diplomacy, Mr. Secretary. Again, we have Secretary John Fleming, Treasurer of Louisiana, the great state of Louisiana, candidate for U.S. Senate. And he is gracious to be on the Josh Gillard Show here for this long. We certainly appreciate that. Looking at Ukraine, looking at Russia, even China. So we're sending now it's my understanding, I think we're sending long-range missiles over there now to Ukraine. That's a touchy subject, and I'm not going to ask you to solve it, but boy, if you could, that'd be great. But being a senator, man, you are going to have, if you're elected, you're going to have so much authority and so much decision-making and influence on who the decision-makers are. Any general thoughts on that, our position so far? We got 2 to look at. So what's your thoughts, Mr. Secretary?
Well, while I was in the House of Representatives, I've served 8 years on the House Armed Services Committee during 2 wars, Afghanistan and Iraq. And I can tell you, first of all, we should have never gone into Iraq. It created a protracted war that lost many lives and caused many disabled veterans. But once we were in it, we had to fight it and fight it through. So there were miscalculations there. So I think when it comes to Russia and Ukraine, right.
Hey, you know what I mean?
I get it. But when it comes to Russia and Ukraine, we got to be very careful that we don't miscalculate. I think the best way to deal with Russia is the way we dealt with its parent, that is the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And that is we deprive it of the revenue from oil. The only thing they sell to the world is oil and vodka.
Thank you.
And if we can cut down their ability to sell oil and deprive their military of money, then I think the war comes to a halt.
Absolutely. Common sense. Yes. So, Mr. Secretary, got about 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Anything for the folks? We'll try to get you back on before the election or for the primary if we can.
Sure.
Anything for the great folks over here in Acadiana? We certainly appreciate you.
Yes. Well, I love Acadiana. I love Lafayette in particular. And I just want to say that this election is going to be, between Bill Cassidy, who has really been a thorn in the side of President Trump. He's held him back in many ways. Voted to convict him when there was absolutely no evidence against Trump. And had he been successful, Trump could not have run for this term that he's in now. and that would have been a disaster. We probably would have had Biden or Kamala Harris.
Ooh.
So, look, Louisiana is ready for a change, and we're leading the way. We're ready to take on the task of replacing Senator Cassidy, but we need your help. We need your support. Call us for a sign or email us for a sign. We're happy to put a sign out in your yard. Just come to FlemingSenateCampaign.com, FlemingSenateCampaign.com, or you can find us on Facebook and all other social media. Learn more about us. We have over 200 volunteers. We have over 10,000 yard signs. So we're ready to go. We're going to win this thing.
All right. Hey, that's Secretary, running for Senate, Secretary John Fleming. Thank you so much. What a great person. I know him firsthand. Wonderful guy. Go check him out. Learn as much as you can about him. Stick around. Hour number 2, right around the corner. Stop it, Martha Jean. afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the Cape Pale Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also live on Rumble, rumble.com. I see you, Tony Dashers. I see you, Robert Benoit. She's unreal.
Martha Jean, let me tell you. Martha Jean
she's
she's going
unreal.
to the fishing camp this weekend. I asked her who she was going with, and she wouldn't say. I don't know. I didn't push it because I didn't really want to know.
Keep in mind, she doesn't have a fishing camp.
She had her teeth in, though, and I was a little worried.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you know what happens. So.
But she had like a 30 rack of, Natty Light, and like, well, who's bringing the Keystone? I'm like, I don't even know if they still make that, Martha Jean.
All right.
She's icky.
Let's do it. All right. Hey, look, great interview, man. I appreciate Treasurer Fleming coming on the show. Talk about his campaign. We're gonna have to remember those questions so we can ask the other folks. I appreciate the guy just taking positions. You know.
Yeah. If I could say, I very much disagree with him on a couple things. The National Guard being one. There was something else he said. I forget what specifically, but the National Guard presence in like when he said permanent, I kind of threw me for a loop.
Guys, look, we have to talk about. I'm not going to give up on truth, and well, this is just opinion. This is not necessarily truth. It's truth that it's my opinion, you know. But genuinely, this is a slippery slope. Using National Guard troops in this manner. It just is. I get it. I get it. In these crime-ridden cities where you have folks that absolutely will not take care of our fellow Americans, I get it. It's tempting to press the easy button. But we have the power right now. We will not always have the power. You got to know that. Politicians come and go. And every time in the executive branch, at the local, at the state, and at the federal level, that executive comes in swinging if they want to do something. Not always. Sometimes they just sit there and they just want the power. But if they want it, every so often, you're going to get one that wants to do something. And when they do it, no matter what the level, they're going to swing at the hardest they can, at the highest, at the maximum effort they can, okay, that they can. So that mayor is very limited compared to a governor, compared to a president. So it may feel good right now. Seriously, it may feel good to say, oh, Portland needs a permanent National Guard presence. Listen to what you are saying when you say that. Now let me switch the roles. The mayor of Gaydon, sorry, Mayor. The mayor of Gaydon says, all right, so let's say there's another COVID-26, okay? Let's say COVID-28. All right, John Bel Edwards wins the governorship at this rate. That's probably what's going to happen. So he's the governor again, all right? COVID-27 hits or 28 hits, and there's a Democrat president. You know, guys, doggone it, J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or whoever comes out didn't win. Doggone it. You know that could happen. It's crazy. So we get a Democrat president. We have a Democrat governor. COVID-28. They feel they didn't go far enough the last time. And now they have all this precedent. Well, but the mayor of Gaydon says you are not telling my people they can't go to Mass. You are not telling my people they can't have church services in person. And you will not mask my community mandatorily. No, mandatorily. Yes. Anyway.
Mandatorily.
I've been writing a lot of mandates. So mandatory is a legal term. Anyway.
Mandatorily. Just say what a fancy accent, bro.
Yeah. Anywho, but it's a slippery slope. So just look at the lever you're grabbing. You can accomplish these goals. You can accomplish these goals just like you're holding funding for education that we're about to dive into, which is a very, very effective tool, you can do that in this regard too. You can empower, not take over, local functions. And look, I don't know how this is going to come across, okay? I don't know how it's going to come across, but it's my honest opinion. Is it really the people of Monroe, Louisiana's problem if San Francisco can't get their act in order? Is it really Monroe's problem? Because you're making it Monroe's problem because you're using Monroe's money to do it. And every time you infringe on San Francisco or wherever, you're infringing on Monroe because that's precedent. And the more we let it happen, the more it will happen. The government, federal government for sure, does not give power back. This is like the biggest drug right now in conservative circles. Don't do the drug. Yeah, it feels good at first. I mean, look, I'm a recovered alcoholic. Yeah, it feels good. But over time, it's not good. So, like, really?
Be doing that Leroy Jenkins. Martha Jane. That's how she lost her teeth. Huffing that stuff. Hey, you've been talking, excited lately. Let's clear the phone lines out.
Yeah.
And let's give away a flag, 232-1542-844-766-6607. Caller number 1.
Yes, caller number 1. And you have to tell us about your thoughts on the senator's interview. Yes, no, seriously, that's the criteria. First caller to talk about the secretary's interview, Secretary Fleming's interview, and what your thoughts are. You get the American flag kit. 232-1542.
Uh-oh.
Who is?
Hey, we got somebody. Let's go. Let's
get caller. You are live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? That's you, caller?
That's
Yep.
Warren.
Warren!
What's up?
Warren.
Tell me about the interview with Secretary Fleming.
I'm voting for him. He's my guy, man. I'm proud of that dude. I'm gonna vote for. I wasn't gonna go vote, but I'm gonna go vote for him. I'm telling you, I'm finally satisfied with a Louisiana politician. There's a couple of good ones. I feel bad for the good ones because there's so many dirty, rotten ones. But I don't know if y'all heard, Diddy just got sentenced.
Yeah.
4 years and 2 months.
Oh, Diddy? He done seen the light. He told the judge he been reborn. I guess he's tired of being the jailhouse kitty. The old saying, what goes around, I guess it's coming back around. I think I'm going to have to write a song. A whole lot of squealing going on.
Well, Warren, you got to stay on hold, man, so I can get your
no,
info.
he didn't tell me that. He didn't win. Warren, tell me your thoughts on the interview. What? Tell me about John. What did the secretary say that really got you excited? And I'm excited that you're excited.
I like him because I believe he has integrity, which is a rarity for a Louisiana politician. I believe he tells the truth because, we know the majority of them, they lie like a rug. And our governor, I mean, they must have our governor, Cleo must have our governor in pictures, I hate to think what's going on there, but we finally got a solid candidate that's looking out. I mean, I know y'all don't agree with
that's
National
one issue.
Guard
That's
and all
one
that,
issue.
but we got to do something.
Yeah, that's one issue. That's one of many, many, many issues.
All right, Warren, I'm
love
going to put you on hold.
Yes. Congratulations, Warren. Love when Warren calls in. Love all of our callers. Just, guys, like if we're conservative, we don't want the federal government coming in when we don't need them to. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Appreciate you guys being over there. Thank you so much. Rumble.com. Check us out, the Josh Guillory Show. All right, full candor. Yes, I disagreed with that one position that on the National Guard with Secretary John Fleming, but that's one of a gazillion. I love the guy. I love a lot of his opponents too. You know, there's some good conservatives running. So, but all the things Warren said about him, I agree. Again, got to serve with him very briefly, and just a good guy, just a good guy. You know, but here's the thing, and full candor. This is the candor's part. I definitely think I'm in the minority for whatever reason, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because the leaders in the Republican Party are telling the base that this is good. That this is okay. You know, that would be like the police department. I mean, they're just going so extreme. I don't even know a good analogy. I was going to say the police department using a tank, a heat missile out of a tank, you know, to break into a house. I mean, Louisiana, we have more than 15,000 badges in the state. All great folks, I'm sure. Most of them. Not all, I guess, but most. But really, how many more officers do you need? Okay, so the mayor's not doing their job. Elect another one. Well, they're not doing it. Then don't live there. Then don't live there. But the governor did a wonderful job right when he got in office. He created Troop NOLA with civilian law enforcement, hyper-focusing on an area in the state. And in his own words, it's been working. I can see how. That's a very good measure. All still at his disposal, by the way. All still available. But you don't invite. I just something to think about. What about soldiers, military personnel walking around the streets? What about that screams freedom? Tell me. Phone lines are open. 232-1542. Only on this topic, though.
I got a question.
Only on this topic. No, really. What screams freedom about that? Now, we're not under martial law. Not even close to it. Nor should we be. But we're not talking about a situation where we don't have any other alternative. Hey, look, guys, I'm the first to admit, if we have no other alternative to police our civilian laws than the military, then great. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in with you. If the Louisiana governor only had as his only option to invite the federal government to come do his job, if that was the only option to fight crime, I'm in. So there you go. I'm in. I'm not closed-minded on this. But look how many other options in conservatives. We want to fight crime. We don't want to make crime fighting corrupt. Look at the FBI. You want that? You want that mentality around doing your local policing? You want the federal government, with the might of the federal government, doing law enforcement on the local level. What screams states' rights about that, conservative? What screams empowering local government? We love it now. We're fighting a conservative issue. We're fighting crime. It's justified. No. If it's the last option, sure. But can we all agree that there are other options? We gave some in the state of Louisiana. You do what you already are doing. Troop NOLA. Wonderful. I bet you if it's about money, I bet you President Trump would figure out a way to reimburse. I bet you. They surely reimburse for less important things. Go to Chris in New Iberia. He knows what's up. Only this topic, though, Chris. National Guard. What's up, Chris? What you got?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, buddy?
It's not about freedom. It's a perception of something being done. And at the end of the day, it's just a Band-Aid on a festering wound because you're dependent on who's in the White House in order to keep it going. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the deal is the like you said, the Troop NOLA is the better way because they can actually police
Thank you.
and be everywhere.
Thank
but
you.
the problem is we have to pay for it. And we don't want to pay for it. We want the government to pay for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it is the government. And hey, Chris, good. Hey, great point, Chris. Great point. Here's another thing to think about. I know a little bit about local government. Local governments, most of them, once the federal government comes in and they're doing one of their functions, they become extremely dependent. Democrat and Rhino-run cities that's why in Lafayette we thrived in COVID because we just refused to be dependent on them. And many others, all 6 mayors. It wasn't just the mayor president. All 6 mayors in the parish and others in the region. Okay. But let me tell you, if we go this route, we are going to create such an extreme dependence on the federal government to police our local streets that when the next Democrat who's anti-police pulls out all the National Guard and all these cities and towns who have relinquished all their power, police power, or any resources that they could possibly have to do it, they're on their own. You want to talk about money then? You want to talk about money then? I know a little bit about this. This is not the way to do it. If it's about money, then make it about money. But don't throw out constitutional principles. Don't throw out what conservatives have preached and tried to practice for quite some time. I mean, that Treasurer Fleming is one of the most conservative people I know, and he drank the Kool-Aid, or he's preaching it. I mean, he said maybe we should have a permanent presence. He just said that, and I love the guy. I love him. If he wins, I'm gonna be hugging him and high-fiving if I'm around him. I'm telling you, it's a good dude. He ain't the only conservative preaching that right now, and that's a problem. That is a problem when leaders abandon principles. I know he knows principle. I know one of the founding members of the Freedom Caucus knows about limited government. So that's a little, but I'm sure they're all saying it though. I don't know.
Is New Orleans not run by democratically elected officials?
They are, but look, I want to stay on this point. It is like total, guys. We could keep it very simple right now. It is such an imminent threat. You want to talk about a threat to democracy? You do this, then you are, as a Republican, threatening democracy. You really are. Or you're threatening what we know as a country. There's 2 things right now. I used to say there's 1. There's 2 things now. Now I say there's 2, thanks to this, that could totally be irreparable. 1, we continue this lawfare, we're done. 2, we keep inviting the federal government into this ain't even a state issue, man. Local issues? What's next? Hey, you know who can clean up garbage really well? And I'm not joking. I am not kidding. I bet you the National Guard can. I'm not kidding. I've seen the National Guard. I was in it. Talented folks. Why don't we activate the National Guard to do that? It could be a health emergency. And then let's get local government dependent on that too. Hey, they didn't have to pay for it, remember? They didn't have to pay for it. The folks didn't either. Let me do it in taxes. What other function in local government? Anything else? Like these are real consequences to real policy decisions. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because I'm starting to think I'm in the minority. I really do. I really do, because who can argue with if you don't know why you believe in what you believe in? And I don't say that ugly. I really don't. People are busy. That's fine. It sounds good though. We want to fight crime. Yeah, it sounds great. Okay? But anyway, all right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back.
You giving me the cues now? And welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. I'm Mr. Producer, Jamie Angel, your host here, Josh Guillory.
I was so eager.
Good. Hey, thank y'all for watching on Rumble. If you're not, go watch us, rumble.com, the Josh Guillory Show. But I did want to get a point out about what you were saying.
What you got?
New Orleans is they democratically elect their leadership, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So it would stand to reason that if the people of New Orleans took great issue with the crime in their city, they would elect better people. Am I wrong in assuming?
You would hope. I guess there's an argument against that.
I mean,
for years they keep electing the same folks, but and I
their
don't
lesson to learn.
Yeah.
It's their lesson to learn. So you keep doing this. That's not my problem. I have to pay for these troops. You have to pay for these troops.
Yeah.
Somebody's paying for it. Now say, well, the federal government's paying. No, you pay for the federal government. It's your money. Stop wasting it. I don't want to talk about this no more.
Let's move on past subject. And I'm sorry if I just beat a dead horse on that. I'm just really concerned about it. Just this expansion of federal government. I never really thought I'd hear that from a few of the folks that I've heard it from. And I think I'm starting to be in the minority there, but I think when folks really look into it and really see like what this will create long term, it's not conservative for sure. I don't even think it's American, quite frankly.
We got breaking news, by the way.
What up?
Government's still shut down. Senate has once again failed to pass a clean continuing resolution. So,
What are we on October 3rd? See, under the plan that I proposed, we would have a 3% reduction in federal spending.
Yeah,
3%. I like Senator Ernst. I was happy to see to hear. I liked everything else the secretary said. He's a great guy. Love him. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you are live on the Josh Guillory Show. What is your name? Where are you calling from? That's you, caller?
Hello?
Yep, that's you. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Hey, my name is Tim. I'm calling from Lafayette. I just want to touch on this. I was in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, using the military as a tip of the spear
Yeah.
is not a good thing
Thank you.
because we're not trained for that
Thank you.
at all.
Thank you.
And the violations of people's civil rights is going to happen because we're not trained in that. Look at Iraq.
We're trained
We
to
couldn't
violate
even hold
them.
it down after we took it.
Yeah, right. Like, come on. Let's just be thinking. You can't have war fighters
not
and
trained for
police.
that.
No. And I love, hey, and what do you think about Pete Hegseth? I think he's doing a great job creating that war fighter spirit, but you don't want that
No,
policing.
I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, me
But
too.
we need to separate the military
Yeah.
from civilian. There's enough law enforcement here in the state that you can start pulling law enforcement from all over the state just to go work in New Orleans. That we don't need the National Guard getting involved, not just our state, any state. It's ridiculous because if the Republican Party is doing it now, what is the Democratic Party going to do with the military?
Yeah. They look, I love this call.
I'm just looking at the bigger picture, man. I'm not for it at all.
Yeah, me
This
neither.
is not a good thing.
Nope, not at all. Hey, thanks for calling in. What a great lead in. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm echoing what you're saying. Just look past. Listen what the former Marine said. Using the National Guard or using the military, which the National Guard is part of, using the military as the tip of the spear is not the right way to go. Spoken like a military personnel would probably speak, but just don't lead it. You don't lead in with that. But that's like last option. And I mean, like I said, if you're telling me the only way we can police crime effectively, there literally is no other way. We have no other law enforcement, like they all just go away or something. There's no more law enforcement. Sure, I guess. But I would be okay with that as long as we're trying to rebuild the civilian law enforcement. You have civilian, like former Marine called in and said about civil liberties being violated. Like I don't want to. I'm not trying to sound brutal here. I'm not trying to sound like shocking. But you got to know, war fighting's not pretty. It's gruesome. It is like soldiers and Marines and all these military personnel are designed, trained to violate personal liberties, civil liberties. Like there are none. Like engage, destroy. And when you see the aftermath of destroy, we're there to destroy property and kill people. And that is what when you go through basic training, these military personnel are literally the first third of basic training across the branches usually is breaking you down, breaking down every single thing you thought you knew. That's why they call it basic training. They're teaching them the basic war fighting skills. And now you have a Department of War, you have a Secretary of War who's actually and openly saying, we want some war fighters. Great. I do too. I was shocked to see how far we got away from that and just so thankful that we have this guy, but you don't want that mentality on the street. Not if you don't have to. Not if you don't have to. All right, guys, let's see here. Let's go to Big Chris. What's up, Big Chris? Am I off on this?
Well, the knee-jerk reaction is, yes, bring in the troops.
Yeah.
Get rid of the crime.
Mhm.
That's a knee-jerk reaction. And trust me, I probably had it at first too, but
Yeah.
but you're exactly right. We need to, like my mom said, give him enough rope to hang himself. The people voted those politicians in. Let them live what they voted in, and never use the military for that, because that's what happened in Venezuela. I mean, Venezuela is one of the beautiful countries in the southern hemisphere, and they got took over by a tyrannical guy that controlled the military. Now, just like you said, if a Democrat gets in, starts using the military like that, and we turn into a giant Venezuela.
Yep.
I agree with you 100%.
Absolutely. And look, and it might get so bad that maybe like somebody like Zelensky comes in and we'll just suspend elections. Anybody ever wonder why he's still the president? He just suspended elections during the war. That's very democratic. All right. I mean, hey, during the Civil War, we had an election.
Yeah.
During the Civil War, yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Mr. Bobby, what you got, Mr. Bobby? Bring some truth.
Simplify.
Sound the charge.
You're right. You broke down to destroy and kill. But you know what? In the Marines, you don't want to be first. You want to be the best.
Hey.
But here's the deal. How many NOLA troops did Uncle Landry put in New Orleans?
We had that
Is
number.
it like 200 or something?
I don't know. I thought it was a little more than that, but
Robert.
yeah, Robert, come on, message us on the Rumble.
Yeah, well, he like you said, I guess he couldn't handle it, but he's a little you know what I'm talking liquor. Anyway,
He's getting ready for the butt.
yeah, no, but
Mr.
but
Bobby.
Pete and Trump always use that word if you listen. But Pete's right. I don't want any fat 4-star generals. Get some hard PT.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
want to grow a beard, get into special forces.
I like that too. Absolutely, man. I know all of it, Mr.
Hey, I owe you an apology because you outranked me and I out before you.
Yeah, I said, Mr. Bobby's the only one that's outing me. I love you. I love you. Hey, good point, Mr. Bobby. Good. Out. All right, man.
Phone
Yeah.
line's still open,
Yeah,
by the way. 844-766-6607, 232-1542 locally.
Hey, we're handing out another flag.
We are, but not
next
yet.
next segment.
I'll tell y'all when.
Is that it? Oh, is it? We only have one more. I
Man,
think,
what'd
huh?
I tell you?
Oh, I'm not
What'd I
supposed to
tell
now.
you? I will tell you when it's time.
That's our agreement. I totally broke our agreement. I said,
All right, first caller.
yay! But no, they got to do something.
You got to
not
tell
to-
us a joke
Okay.
or tell us a story about
Yeah.
Martha Jean.
Oh gosh.
232-1542,
Okay.
844-766-6607. The first caller with either a joke or a story about Martha Jean will win a flag kit and a couple of
Or even
coffees.
something interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, something on a Friday that would bring the spice. Bring the spice. Make people think in their car, they're like, what? Did he just say that? Did she just say that? Yeah, you call in and say that. He's got the button. He's got his finger on the button. All right, let's go to your friend. Man, that's your boy over there.
Who?
California. Governor Newsom.
Well,
He's got a podcast like us.
yeah.
He should come on the show. It'd be nice to.
Well, he went on Joe Rogan's
Who
and
thinks
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I would be nice to him.
Yeah. I mean, I have
course I
to
would.
vehemently disagree with a lot of
Of
stuff
course,
that he says.
of course. So yeah, we would be disagreeing on a lot more. We may agree on one or two issues, whereas me and the secretary, we just disagreed on one. I love him. I'm gonna hug him tight if I see him and he wins, man. I'd be so excited. There's a couple other candidates I'd be so excited too. All right, so Gavin Newsom, our friend over there in California, well, he is not having this. Orange man bad. He's threatening to cut state funding. He is not playing around. He's threatening to cut state funding for California schools that comply with President Trump's new Compact for Academic Excellence in Higher Education. I'll explain. So, the Trump administration rolled out a compact offering funding benefits. Hey, it is a privilege to get federal funding. It is not a right. So they just roll out a benefit package. I thought, well, that's proactive. That's coming to the problem with a solution. And it said very easy. You definitely can get the benefits. You can get the funding if your university agrees to reforms, freeze tuition for 5 years. That's what man, anybody saying this guy is not fighting for the little guy they're just blinded by hate or just blistering ignorant. Not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying like unknowing. Okay, you're not looking. Cap international enrollment. That's got the left fuming. the education elites, not the regular folks in the education. They are, that cap international enrollment, that stay tuned to that. All right. Oh, here's one. Stop discriminating based on race. Stop discriminating based on sex, gender. Like, why are we having to tell Democrats this? I thought that's what y'all's thing was. I thought, no, really.
I don't know, but we got a caller.
All right, let's hear it.
Caller.
Caller, what you
Okay.
got? Bring the heat.
You guys are looking for a joke, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Gotta be clean.
For whatever reason, this is the only joke I can ever remember, but I'm gonna twist it a little bit because of the troops, Louisiana. So there's a staff sergeant and there's a private on the street corner in New Orleans, and the staff sergeant says, "Sir, I need to teach you a couple of things. I want you to look over there, and you see those 2 potatoes?" And the private says, "Yes, sir." And he says, "I want you to tell me which one is the prostitute." And the private says, "I don't know, sir." And the staff sergeant says, "Well, it's the one that says Idaho."
I gotta get him some little.
Is that good?
That's
All right?
good.
Hey, winner,
what's
winner,
your
chicken
name?
dinner.
What's your name?
My name's Troy, man. Y'all keep that and give that to somebody that doesn't already have a flag.
All right,
Oh,
that's
Troy.
fine,
That's a
Troy.
good
Okay,
joke. We
you're
appreciate
good.
it.
You're good, Troy. All right, we're gonna change up the criteria. Let's see here.
Now, we're gonna take a break.
Oh, good.
And when we
Okay,
come back,
we're giving it away a flag.
that's right.
Yeah. All right, stick around.
What's up, guys? Hi, enjoying this break. Hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One for all the gridiron glory you crave, from jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app or on the Westwood One Sports app, on WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One, and if it's awesome, it's on the Josh Guillory Show. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Acadiana. That's South Louisiana for you great folks outside our wonderful state. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Thank you guys for another wonderful day in the chat. Certainly appreciate that. Tony Dashery, cracking me up in there.
Always.
All you guys are. Yeah, see that New Orleans police chief. Okay, all right. So we're giving away a flag kit. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna start picking up our story back here with Governor Newsom. Okay, first person to call in with their thoughts gets a free American flag kit. I want to see if we can give away 2 today. Just give me your thoughts. All I need is your thoughts, good, bad, or ugly. So we got President Trump that says, "Hey," and this is
232-1542 or 844-766-6607. That's 844-766-6607.
Yay. All right. So President Trump is saying if you want federal dollars to these universities, great, but you're going to have to stop discriminating based on gender. You're going to have to stop discriminating based on race. You're going to have to put a cap on international enrollment. You're going to have to freeze tuition. Can't raise it. Can't raise tuition for 5 years. Talk about, huh? And shut down departments that openly target certain ideas, in this case, conservative thoughts. So basically, it's saying honor free speech. You're supposed to be a beacon of free speech over there in the universities. And for a while you were, and I think you can get back. I believe in them. I do. So Governor Newsom said, this is a hostile takeover. Hostile takeover? No, it's just politics. Yeah. So what do you mean about the flag? He wrote me a note. He's mad at me now. We're giving away a flag. All right. So Governor Newsom said hostile takeover and said, California schools, let me tell you something. If you accept bad orange man's federal funding, and you agree to stop discriminating based on race and gender and stop agreeing to suppress free speech, you are losing California funding. You're including student Cal grants. That will hit them hard. Worth up to $11,000 a year. That adds up. They got a lot of people enrolled. So let's go to the phone lines. Let's see here.
Well, Warren can't win another flag.
Warren, you can't win another, but you can give me your thoughts. What's up, Warren?
Yeah, I don't want another flag. I just wanted to say, God bless him. I'm so glad. It's about time, Josh. It's about time we see some common sense from our politicians, and Trump just keeps doing it over and over again. I'm loving it. I love the fact that he rode in the carriage and the king walked behind him like a punk. I love it. Thank you, Josh.
Hey, appreciate you, Warren.
Like a punk.
Robert Benoit, appreciate you, my dear brother. Governor Landry sent 200 state police for Mardi Gras this year and 40 in January of 2024. There you go. You got resources. And hey, if you do want to use your National Guard, go for it. But don't invite the federal government. Anyway, I digress. All right. So, but that is what we're talking about. I know we don't have enough time. There's a tie-in between what's happening with voluntarily allowing the federal government to take over certain local functions and this. Okay. So USC is the main school in California that, remember, it's a letter. So the Trump administration sent out a compact letter, a benefits package, they refer to it as. You can have benefits. You can have federal benefits. Fantabulous. But you got to stop doing all that crazy stuff, man. Well, USC, they received their letter, but a lot of elite schools around the country are on that list. And this does come on the heels of Trump forcing big settlements on like Harvard, Columbia, remember that? Brown, for anti-Semitism and speech issues. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you are live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Allison from Abbeville.
All right, Allison from Abbeville, Highway 14 in the Hizzy. What's up?
Oh, hey. Well, I don't know what the requirement is to win the flag. I went from my car to the house. Did y'all have another requirement? First time it was a joke.
Man, I'll tell you what. There's this tiny little, you got to read the fine print. It says if your name starts with A and you're from Abbeville, You actually get the flag. Ring the bell, Jamie. Come on, baby. Let's get it. Allison.
I haven't had a flag since I retired my father's. I gave it to the local Boy Scouts to do
Aw.
the retirement.
Yeah.
The American flag. My
Yeah.
father passed away, so I need a flag, and I'm an American history teacher. So thank y'all so much.
That's awesome. I'm
Multiple wins.
gonna put you back on hold so I can get
Yes,
some information
thank
from you
y'all.
as soon as the show's over. So
That is
stay on.
awesome, and thank you so much. That's what I mean. Oh man, that's what great way to end the week here. All right, so again, bigger picture here. I'm going to try to cram as much information as I can here because this is cool. So remember, Constitution doesn't give Washington any role in schools. That's a 10th Amendment thing. It's a constitutional thing that they don't have it. The 10th Amendment is the reason why they don't have it, but somehow we allowed us to have it. And you can't make that up.
I don't know what you just said.
Yeah, neither do they.
You can have it, but you can't have it. But it allows you, but you know.
Yeah. So
Sounds like the Voting Rights Act.
But here's the deal: the Governor Newsom, your actions, I don't have a problem with. I really don't. But I'm a conservative. I don't care what you do in California. It does not impact me, for the most part.
Don't make me no difference.
Yeah. But I tell you what. Sadly, what's happening in Baton Rouge, what we're trying to do, invite the federal government in willy-nilly.
Oh no, it's not gonna work, y'all. It's not gonna work. It's gonna be bad.
You know what else? You know what's not bad?
What?
Our wonderful callers, our wonderful viewers, our Rumble guys, man. As we wrap
All
up the
week.
week, yeah, man, y'all really made the show so much better than we could have.
Yeah, we'll be back with more next week.
Yeah, we're going to bring the heat. Man, thank y'all. Look, go check us out on the social medias. Go check us out on rumble.com. We're going to start putting, Jamie, he's working over there. We're going to start putting out some Rumble content. I want you guys to check us out. So, the Josh Guillory Show. Guys, have a great weekend. Be careful out there. May God bless you and be kind.